This is my art studio. I believe that all artists dream about a place like this, a place where they can get truly crazy. But building a studio like this isn't easy. You need the space, you need the art supplies, you need to build it all. Let's try to replace all of this with VR.
Okay, the virtual studio that I'm gonna be testing today is called Painting VR. And welcome to my new studio. What the hell is that? This is a dream studio, like a big warehouse. Let's see the menu. I can change the luminosity and I can clean up. I just cleaned my studio with one click. So let's see what we actually have here. Ooh, that's a big brush. Roller. Bucket of a red top. Spray paint. Marker. Go away. Brush. Have you seen that? Dog. Reference pictures. In the game. Let's test the painting tools available in this amazing studio. I'm gonna start with a spray paint. Ooh. So, the spray paint tool works actually absolutely fantastic. Like, it's almost too perfect. I mean, look at this. This is so realistic. This truly feels real. Whoa, 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 whoa. Take a closer look right here. Can you see how the brush behaves? Wow! Look how realistic this is. Even a slightest movement of my hand makes a difference in the brush stroke. And the brush stroke is so realistic. And look, it even mixes with the spray paint color that I used. See? Brush. Ooh! I just cleaned the brush. Wow! Look at that! That's so nice! You can clean the brush in the bucket and then you can make a fade, like this. And let me just say that it's super realistic. Wow! Let's try green, right here, and clean, yellow. Look at that! What if I put a bit of blue there? We get purple. Wow! This is so real! And I think I can sample colors like this. This is amazing. Wow. Just wow. And right now my roller is dirty. And right now it's clean. Ooh, yeah. Ugh. Look at that gradient. At this point I have to say that I'm very, very impressed. The only question I have is, how does it work with the drying process? Because apparently the canvas is still pretty wet. What if I don't want to have it wet? What does this do? Okay. Apparently this is an eraser. And what about this? Okay, this is a marker. It doesn't pick up the background color, so it seems that it's already dry. Look, this is another very cool thing that you can do. You can grab one color, another one, and mix it up. See? It's changing color. Okay. For the past 2 hours I've been testing and playing inside of Painting VR, and let me just say that it's a lot more advanced than I thought. Let me show you. Okay, watch this. First of all, you can move things and then you can lock them in place. More importantly, you can take the reference window and put it right behind your canvas. Extremely handy. But this is the most important thing. I already mentioned that the canvas is wet, right? It seems constantly wet. The colors are mixing, and if I want to do a solid black line, I can't really do that. But check this out. With a click of a button, you can bring up a menu of this brush. And you can set up the brush based on your liking to simulate acrylics or oil paint. Let's say I want that solid line here. Well, I bring the thickness up. Can you see it on the brush? Thickness low, not that much color on the brush. Thickness up, fully loaded. I put the mix on 0 and watch this. We have a solid line right there. But let's say that I don't want the solid line. Let's say that I want a very thin layer of yellow. Well, I take a different brush, I load it with yellow, bring up the menu. I don't want the brush to mix with the colors on the canvas, and I don't want the brush to smudge the colors that are already on the canvas. And I want a very little thickness. Look. Ta-da! Right now, let's say I want to smudge the colors below a little. Okay, like 50%. See? It's smudging the colors below, like this. Okay, maybe this was not a good example, but guess what? I have an undo button right here. You have 5 undos. I'm not sure if you are aware of this, but this is incredibly cool because you can adjust the brushes perfectly based on your liking. And as I said, you can simulate oil paints, acrylics. This is exciting. So right now, let's answer the most important question. If I can use this all to make a solid artwork, to make a solid canvas painting. Let's do it. In order to do a proper testing, I decided to paint this beautiful, colorful birdie. And the first thing that I needed was the right reference picture. I started to work on it with a roller and once again, I'm impressed. The painting experience, the reality of it is just incredible. I love it. When I had the base color, I decided to mix my own color. And it was super easy. I just picked it up with my spray paint and I was able to use it. And I was also able to do a very soft gradient on the canvas. Now I want to start with the painting of the bird, but I don't want to mix all of my colors. That's why I went into a reference folder where I found some handy references for color choice. You can actually put whatever you want into the reference folder. I was just too lazy to do that. And with all the references ready, it's time for the first brush stroke. Wow. You can see how the brush truly acts realistic. You actually need to sort of dip it into color over and over again because, as I said, it is realistic. So you kinda ran out of a color in the brush. As I work on the details of the stick, I find the first difficulty. Making straight lines and small details is kinda difficult because unlike in reality, you don't have a support of the canvas. You just have a hand with a VR controller in the air. But with a little bit of practice, it is doable. Okay, after the stick, it's time to paint the bird, but as you can see, I don't have any first lines there. I don't know the proportions. But my only option, basically, is to paint the bird right away. Unlike in digital painting softwares, there are no layers, just like in reality. So I need to paint right on the wet canvas. As I'm filling this ugly little shape that I made, I'm trying to figure out the workflow, like how am I supposed to do this? What settings do I need? What do I need to adjust? And at first it looks pretty terrible. I'm freaking out a little, but it should be like with everything. Just hang in there, test it out and get better. When I started with the painting of the wings, I realized that I can't really paint them. The composition would be terrible. So I just used the undo button. That's a one very handy thing you don't have in reality. After approximately 30 minutes of painting, I decided to change position. I've put the canvas to a wall and I moved myself to a couch. You know, just simply to be more comfortable. And it totally worked without any problems. What didn't work were my painting skills. What I'm doing here, I'm trying to figure out this app, and at the same time I'm trying to paint a beautiful little birdie, and that's a lot. I am still experimenting and playing around, and the birdie is looking meh. And as I move to more detailed stuff on the head, as I mentioned before, it's pretty difficult to create the right shapes because my hand is just floating in the air. But as I progress with the painting, I'm really getting used to the workflow. Look to the reference, pick a color, adjust the brush, do this, do that. I'm slowly improving. Even the really difficult parts are getting slightly easier. I mean, it's still difficult, but I got a little bit better. And at this point, I'm really in the process. I know what I need to do, and I'm just painting. Looking at the reference and painting. Adjusting, improving. And eventually I reach the point where I'm happy with the birdie. I just want to, adjust it with some funky little background details. And this is the moment where I appreciate the VR painting probably the most, thanks to the undo button. Because these final little details in reality are always terrifying, because it is an absolute disaster to undo them. So I try a lot of things, and then I picked up this splatter brush, which makes, splatters and drips, which is really nice. However, somehow I was not able to undo the splatters that I made. It was not possible. I probably somehow, without noticing, did too many steps, too many strokes, probably on the floor, and I was not able to repair this. Well, with a press of a button. But it's not such a big disaster. As I was looking at the finished canvas, I started to think about this problem with details, and I suddenly realized that there is a solution. Just make the canvas bigger. But then you might think like, okay, how do I get up there? There is no ladder or anything like that. Well, but there is a solution to this problem too. On the wall, you can move the canvas below the ground level. So it doesn't matter how big the canvas is, you can always get to every single corner. And making the canvas bigger makes working on the details a lot easier. I didn't notice this in the beginning, but the canvas you're painting on is fully adjustable. You can paint on whatever format you want. Also, the whole space is adjustable, and it's kind of crazy how much this reminds me of my actual art studio. Right now, let me paint one more solid artwork and give you my conclusion about painting VR during the process. This time, I started the canvas with a sketch, and I was surprised how good it is to sketch in this app. More I use it, more I see that the developers of this app truly paid attention to details, and even if I had some problems, I found solutions for most of them. The only thing that I don't like all that much is the spray paint. It's the tool that I use the most in reality, and this tool could be really improved. The great news are that I talked with the developers, and if I remember correctly, they are working on it. So my conclusion is that I am truly impressed. The only true problem I had during the painting of the second canvas were my artistic demons. I didn't really know what I want to paint, and the process looked like that, but the app was just incredible. And I didn't really believe in this in the beginning, but you truly are able to create professional work inside of this app. Maybe I would suggest to improve the export options, but that's it. So, if you are a professional, I highly recommend you this app. You won't be disappointed. And if you just want to try painting and you don't want to buy all these expensive art supplies, you don't want to get dirty, you don't want to leave your comfortable room this app is absolutely perfect for you. It will give you the experience of all these different tools, and you can save a ton of money because at the end of the day, you might realize that you don't want to be an artist. But I am having a feeling that it's gonna be the exact opposite. And with that said, I need to say big thank you to Painting VR for sponsoring of this video. But don't you worry, the fact that this video is sponsored by them did not affect any of the things I told you today. This app is truly phenomenal. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.